every year, USCIS issues, or the Department of State actually issues a certain number of green cards. The green cards that are issued are limited. And out of the total green cards issued, every country gets about 7% of that total green card numbers, no matter what the population of that country is. So to put things in perspective, a huge country with a huge population like India gets the same as a country like Iceland, which has a very small population. So what has happened is that it's created an imbalance whereby Indian nationals are waiting for years and years, 10 years, 20 years to get their green card, while people from other countries get their green card faster because that 7% cap numbers that they're getting are enough for them. So that's why there's this disparity created between the worldwide and countries such as China and India. So having said that, just going into who can file their green card and when. So you have to first file, in some situations, you have to file a labor cert. In some situations, if it's employment based, you have to file an I-140. If it's a family based case, you simply file your family based immigrant petition, which is an I-130. And so the date when you file that immigrant petition, or the date that you file the labor cert, where labor cert is needed, is your priority date. So that's fixed. Your priority date never changes. So once you have covered the first two steps, or the first step, depending on what type of green card you're filing, in order to file adjustment of status or a 485, your visa numbers or green card numbers need to be available for you. And how do you know whether it's available or not in order to file your final step, which is the 485? You look at what's called a visa bulletin, which is published by the Department of State every month, usually in around the 15th of the month, sometimes earlier. So when you look at this visa bulletin, you will see two tables. One is dates for filing, and the other one is the final action dates. Now, and you'll also see dates for employment-based cases and dates for family-based cases. So depending on what type of case you have to go to that particular table. And in order to decide whether to look at the dates for filing to file your case or the final action date, you have to go to the USCIS website, which there's a link of that available within the visa bulletin page. And that USCIS will tell you which table to follow. The dates for filing, which is an advance date provided by USCIS because they think that your case will soon become current. So they want to take your case and start processing it. And they hope that by the time that the case is processed, your date will actually become current. So they're taking the case in advance. That's the date for filing chart. The final action date is your actual date that your numbers will become current. So if that date has reached or is beyond that date, then that means you can file your green card. That means your dates are available. That means there are enough numbers in order to file your particular case.